this random guy on Twitter decided to take this picture of me, put this filter on top of my face to make me look like a man, and then use me in a side-by-side comparison with Kylie Jenner, basically saying that white women are the beauty standard and black girls will never be as pretty as them because we're manly. And they're all in the comments laughing and calling me a gorilla. Society has this really weird obsession with stripping the femininity away from black women. They do this with Megan Thee Stallion, Michelle Obama, Serena Williams. We're constantly getting compared to men. We don't get to be soft and feminine and dainty. We're mean, we're aggressive, we're loud, we're violent. It's so weird. And this is what I'm talking about when I say that the misogyny that white women face is nothing compared to black women's. And I can't even express how this actually makes me feel, or else I'll be the angry black woman. I'm going to be the one who's making everything about race. I'm going to be the one who's reaching.
First of all, I want to point something out really quickly, because what this man did is very weird, right? But have y'all noticed that the only time that the black diaspora focuses on ethnicity is when it's black Americans doing something weird? So if that had been a black American man, whatever you call us, African Americans, FBA, ADOS, y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. Those of us who are descended from transatlantic slavery in the United States of America, right? If that had been one of our men who posted this weird shit, y'all would have been hooting and hollering about how black Americans are so anti-black and Africans love blackness and so and so and so and yada yada yada, right? Y'all would have been making whole think pieces and articles, writing essays about how black Americans are so backwards and we hate our blackness and it's different with y'all and so and so and so, right? But when y'all do some weirdo stuff, that's not attributed to your ethnicity. I'm pointing this out because I'm dark skinned, so I post videos about colorism. And whenever I do, I get a bunch of comments from Africans and Caribbeans talking about, colorism is not a thing in their country. They embrace blackness, black Americans are just so whitewashed being around white people, so and so and so, yada, yada, yada. Whole time, y'all are bathing in bleach. Like, you literally bleach your skin, but you sitting here trying to tell me that colorism is something only the black American ethnicity engages in. Like, please be so for real. So first, I wanted to stop and point that out really quickly. Now, I don't know this woman's background. I don't know if she's African or Caribbean, so she did this on purpose, because they never bring themselves up when it's something negative, right? That's when they become black, okay? So when it's something positive, if they go to medical school or something, that's when I'm Caribbean, I'm African, so and so and so, right? But when it's some weirdo negative stuff like this, then suddenly they just black, right? That's something I've noticed many, many times. Now, I don't know her background. I don't know if she did it on purpose, but that's the first thing I wanted to point out. Anyway, it's time to get into this and discuss what actually happened here, because what? This South African man took a picture of her and edited it to make her look like a man, and then posted her next to Kylie Jenner talking about, I know who the standard is, no shame. Now, this is my first thing, right? My first thing is the fact that you had to edit the picture proves a point right there, okay? If this was a legitimate comparison, you should have been able to just select a picture, an actual picture, right? But the fact that you had to take a woman who, she's beautiful, and if she was ugly, I would say so. This is a very, very nice looking woman, right? You had to take her picture and alter it to make your point that black women are masculine. So you basically saying that black women are not masculine and you're just a weirdo. You literally had to masculinize the photo yourself in order to make this claim. What? Now, this is the second thing, right? You compared this woman to Kylie Jenner. You could have at least compared her to a white woman who is natural. Kylie Jenner has had so much face surgery. And I'm going to say this right now. Kylie Jenner was not an attractive girl before she got all that surgery. I see why she got all that surgery. I'm so sorry to say that, I don't like to be hurtful or nothing, but I ain't going to sit here and lie, right? So my thing is this. First of all, you should look better than me after you got all this surgery. What you pay all that money for? Because my face was free. So yes, yours should look better than mine because you got a custom designed one, right? But then this is my thing, okay? I will say this now. I think Kylie is pretty after the surgery. Now, her actual face, ooh, yikes. But I think that white women's lip injections don't ever look right. And the best way I can describe it, right? So, looking at my lips, they look like actual lips, right? But when white women get lip injections, it be looking like minstrel show character lips. You know how, when white people draw a menstrual character, they just draw a big bubble for the lips. That's how white women's lip injections be looking. Like, that's the best way I can describe it, because not only do big lips not fit their faces, right? Because we different races, we have different proportions and stuff in our faces. My wide nose and my big lips fit my face. They would not fit a white person's face. And I mean, I guess they, you know, they inverted lips. You know, they lips look like this. I mean, I guess it fits their face better than it would fit mine, right? But even aside from the proportions not being right, like you got lip injections and it doesn't fit your face, period. The lips themselves don't even look like real lips. This is what I'm trying to say. You compared a black woman who is natural, first of all, to a white woman who has been chopped and screwed. And I'm saying this as, you know, just like in general, if you get surgery, whether you white or black, you should not be ugly no more. If you get surgery on your face and you're still ugly, you need to whoop the doctor ass or something, because like, what did you just pay for, right? So first of all, you're comparing a natural black woman to Kylie Jenner, right? But then the crazy thing is that the natural black woman looks better than Kylie Jenner. So you had to sit there and alter her face to make her look like a man, and then compare her to a white woman who's had a bunch of work done. You couldn't even compare her to a natural white woman. And you thought that you made a point. Like, you thought that you made a point with that. That's just like, what? This is my thing, right? Let's pretend that he did not alter the image himself, and that somebody else altered it and he thought it was a real image, right? When he made this comparison, he thought it was an actual comparison he was making. Yo, okay, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that there's no ugly black women, because there are ugly people of all backgrounds. But y'all, oh my God, something just crossed my mind. Y'all, okay, so this past weekend I went to a chess tournament, right? Now I'm gonna put the link to the video up there. Y'all can click on it and go and watch it, right? So I went to this tournament, okay? And mind you, it was not a large tournament. It honestly was probably only like, because there was a women's section and a men's section, two separate tournaments going on at once, right? Honestly, in total, like the women and the men playing, there was probably only like maybe 30 people. Like, it was not a lot of people, right? But y'all, and I mentioned this in the video, that's how you know I'm not lying. When I tell you, and mind you, there was only 2 black women there, okay? There was me and another black woman. There were no black men. Now, I will say, okay, this is about to get a little bit more complicated, because y'all about to be like, what? But let me just briefly describe chess tournaments. Okay, so in chess tournaments, they have different sections, because in chess you have ratings. So they match you up against people who are similar ratings to you. So you can play in the under 1200 section and play against people who are 1200 and under, or you can play in the under 1000 section or the under 1800, whatever, right? So they had open sections. Basically, that means anybody can play in those. Like, I got matched up against somebody rated 1900, and mind you, I put pause in her. I'm not gonna try. I ended up losing because I made one dumb mistake, but I was giving bitches hands, no lie. But anyway, my point was there was a women's open section, a men's open section, and then there was a third section. There was a reserve section for, I think it was for the women, right? I think there was a reserve section for women. So if you were unrated or under 1,000, you could play in that section, right? So there was 2 black women there. Me, I was playing in the open section. There was another black woman playing in the reserve section. Then there was 2 little black girls who were also playing in the reserve section, right? And their parents were there sitting on the sidelines. So there was a black lady and a black man on the sidelines, right? But within the competition itself, and I'm talking about adults, I'm not even talking about kids, okay? Because, well, even though the little black girls were adorable, but I'm not even talking about kids. I'm talking about adults. There was me and another black woman, one other black woman in this tournament, right? And when I tell y'all, aside from us, everybody in there was busted and disgusted. I was like, ugh. I was flabbergasted. It was this one white girl that I was like, I'm scared to look you in the eye, girl. You might turn me to stone. I'm not even joking. That girl was tore up. Like, that just crossed my mind, because like, them people at that tournament, especially that one girl, oh my God, they was just like devilishly ugly. I was like, you gotta be dancing with the devil like that, because God would not make you look like that, bitch. You doing some devilish deeds, because hell no, right? Y'all, when I tell you, that was just some ugly people. So that just crossed my mind, because my point is, again, oh God, that girl was white. The white girl was so ugly. I was like, ugh, y'all. But that's my point, though. I just seen the ugliest bitch I ever seen in my goddamn life this past weekend, and she was white, right? So you could have made this post and compared her to this black woman, right? But no, you didn't do that because clearly you had an agenda. The last thing I'm gonna say here, I'm gonna end this off with, is the fact that Africans are so disappointing to me, bro. And let me explain what I mean. I've said this before, and somebody, y'all comment and tell me if y'all feel the same way, right? Because, you know, I'm African American. I'm descended from transatlantic slavery in the United States of America, you know, and I grew up in the United States where white people are doing us so bad, right? And I used to have this thought like, oh, things would have been better if I had been born in Africa. You know, if white people hadn't gone to Africa and abducted me, you know, my people wouldn't be going through this and yada, 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 right? And then when I see Africans and I see how damn bad they actually are, it's just so heartbreaking. I think it's because it's because I had such an unrealistic view of Africa. And I'm tearing up because y'all are so pathetic, and it legitimately breaks my heart, y'all. Because it's like, y'all, hold up. Of course it's wrong to put a group on a pedestal or something because all they are is human. Of course, you know, humans are, you know, how humans are. But at the same time, it's like every group in the world has a strong backing but African Americans. We are all on our own, right? Asian Americans, they got, you know, whatever home country they come from, you know, whether they Chinese or Indian or whatever. Bottom line, end of the day, them countries are going to step behind them, right? But what African country has ever stepped behind African Americans? Like, ever, bro. And it's so sad because it's like, as terrible as this is to say, as rough as we doing in the United States, honestly, Africans are doing fucking worse, bro. So it's like, how can they step behind anybody and they doing worse than us? It's so fucking irritating because it's like, y'all got your own countries, y'all got your own fucking resources, y'all got every fucking thing, and you more colorist, brainwashed, ass fucking backwards than the average African American. Like, what the fuck is going on here? How backwards is that, bro? Something hit a little bit different when it's Africans doing this stupid ass shit. You know, because if it had been a black American man, I would have been a little bit more understanding. Like, we living in the United States surrounded by white people. You know, we're the minority. That is an entirely different experience than growing up in Africa surrounded by black people where you're the majority. There is a white minority, right? But you're telling me y'all from there where you're the majority and you 100 times more colorist and you have all this more anti-blackness internalized than us? Like, that don't even make sense. I'm sorry, but y'all gotta get it together.